Vinod, in the previous session, we had a detailed discussion about FPOs registered under Cooperative Act. Now, we will move to the next session, where we will try to understand in detail about farmer producer companies or FPCs.
Great, Sarla. Let us begin.
Vinod, we must remember that cooperative values are an integral part of FPC. A producer company is a business enterprise registered under Part 9A of the Companies Act 1956 and is operated based on mutual assistance principles. Section 581G, subsection 2, namely voluntary and open membership, democratic member control, economic participation by members, autonomy and independence, education, training and information dissemination, cooperation among cooperatives, concern for community. The above act was further amended in 2020, which you can see for further details about formation of FPC.
Okay. This means that FPC is also formed on the basic principles of the cooperative. Now, Sarla, I would like to know about who can form an FPC.
FPC can be formed by any 10 or more persons engaged in any activity connected with primary producers, or any two or more producer institutions or companies, or a combination of 10 or more individuals and producer institutions. A producer cooperative can also be converted into an FPC.
Sarla, there is a lot of discussion about primary producer and producers institutions. Can you explain how primary producers institutions are defined in the case of FPC?
Sure, Vinod. Primary produce is the produce of farmers arising from agriculture, including animal husbandry, horticulture, pisciculture, etc. Producer refers to any person engaged in any activity connected with any primary produce. Producer institution is basically a producer company or any other institution having only producers or producer companies as its members.
Thank you. I have now got an understanding of these important terminologies. Could you please explain what kind of agri-business activities can be undertaken by FPC?
Yes, Vinod. Similar to cooperative, a producer company can also engage in production, harvesting, procurement, grading, pooling, handling, marketing, export of products of the members, import of goods or services for the benefit of members, processing the produce of members, manufacture, sale or supply of machinery, consumables, etc. to members, providing education and other welfare activities for members, revitalization of land and water resources, their use, conservation, extension activities, credit, insurance, etc.
Sarla, this indicates that an FPC can undertake a large number of activities in the interest of the member farmers. This is very useful for a farmer collective. What are the key features of FPC?
Basically, a producer company is similar to any other private limited company. The only difference is that a minimum of 10 people are required to register it. In FPC, there is no limit for membership. One member gets one vote. The purpose and objective of a producer company are defined in the Memorandum of Association, and the rules that govern the producer company are taken from the Article of Association. The liabilities of FPCs are limited to the extent of their share capital. The liabilities of the members are limited to the shares held by them. There is authorized share capital and minimum paid up capital for FPC. FPC shall never become a public or deemed public limited company. Members' equity cannot be publicly traded but can be transferred to the members. All other provisions of private limited company under the Companies Act are applicable to producer company.
Sarla, now please explain what are the approaches adopted for formation of FPCs in our country.
Let me further explain the approaches adopted for FPC formation in India. There are two options. First option is to form the primary groups of producers, namely farmers' interest groups, FIGs, or producer groups or SHGs at the village level and then federate them into FPC. Second option includes the individual farmer members directly forming the FPC without forming the primary groups. We have recently visited a Samarth Kisan Producer Company Limited at Agar, Madhya Pradesh. Let us see what kind of governance structure this FPC has.
समर्थ कंपनी शुरुआती यहाँ पे एक प्रोजेक्ट काम कर रहा था डीपीआईपी उसमें उन्होंने 2001 से लेकर 2005 तक काम किया और उनको गांव में जाके किसानों की समस्याएं लगी। उसको देखते हुए उन्होंने इसको वर्ष 2006 में जितने जो प्रोजेक्ट के बेनिफिशरी वो थे किसान उनको संगठित करके कंपनी जो बनी समर्थ 11 जुलाई 2006 को बना था। इसमें जितने भी जो सीआईजीस थे प्रोजेक्ट के उनको जो बेनिफिशरी थे उनको शेयर होल्डर बनाया। अभी वर्तमान में 6552 किसान इसमें शेयर होल्डर हैं। कंपनी का मुख्य जो स्ट्रक्चर है उसमें जो अपन देखें तो बैकग्राउंड में वो शेयर होल्डर किसान हैं। उन्हीं में से जो सिलेक्टेड जो रहते हैं वो बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स आते हैं और हमारे यहाँ हमने सिस्टम बना रखा है। तो हमारे यहाँ 13 बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर हैं और दूसरा ये कि जो उसके बाद में जो टीम होती है वो प्रोड्यूसर कंपनी की टीम होती है जिसमें सीईओ और प्रोडक्शन मैनेजर, मार्केटिंग मैनेजर और फाइनेंस मैनेजर। उसके बाद में जो अगली जो कड़ी है जो शेयर होल्डर और कंपनी के बीच में जो कड़ी जुड़ी हुई है वो है सर्विस प्रोवाइडर। उसका अहम रोल होता है कि वो जो किसानों की जो ज़रूरत है उनको कलेक्ट करते हैं और वो कंपनी तक पहुंचाते हैं और कंपनी की जो गतिविधियां हैं वो किसानों तक पहुंचाते हैं। तो वो 2-3 गांवों के बीच में एक सर्विस प्रोवाइडर है जो करीबन 200-250 किसानों के बीच में एक सर्विस प्रोवाइडर रहता है। तो जो सारी चीज़ें तकनीकी कृषि के जो तकनीकी ज्ञान है कंपनी के जो प्रोडक्ट हैं उनका प्रचार प्रसार वो सर्विस प्रोवाइडर के माध्यम से होता और उनकी जो डिमांड होती क्या क्या उनको खरीदना है, दवाई खरीदना कितना खरीदना, बीज कितना लेना है किसान शेयर होल्डर किसान को, वो सारी जो डिमांड है वो कलेक्ट करके कंपनी तक लाते हैं।
Sarla, this is very useful. I would further request you to please explain the governance structure of an FPC.
To understand this, we have to know the key pillars of FPC and their interrelations. There are three main pillars of FPC. Primary members or their groups such as FIG, which are represented by the general body, board of directors and executive team which is headed by CEO. General body. The primary producer initially forms producer groups, PGs, or farmer interest groups, FIGs, at the village level. The primary members together form the general body. The general body is the supreme decision making body that gives strategic direction to the board and management of FPC, review different activities from time to time, and ensure their accountability. Board of Directors. Shareholders directly or through their group elect the Board of Directors of the FPC. The number of directors in the board can be between 5 to 15 members. The board remains accountable to the general body. The board provides strategic guidance to the executive team and supervises its activities. Executive team. The board appoints a chief executive officer, CEO, and other staff members to constitute the executive team of the FPC for planning and execution of day-to-day activities. With the growth of agribusiness activities of FPC, functional committees such as production committee, processing committee, marketing committee, etc. are constituted by the board. These committees help in planning and implementation of specific tasks. The general body provides a platform to all the member farmers to take part in the decision-making process of the FPC. Thus, all the three important pillars, namely the general body, board, and executive team, are interdependent and strive for achieving the goals of the FPC. Hope this was helpful to you, Vinod. Can you please summarize the learnings from the session?
Sarla, the learning from this session has been very informative. I have learned that cooperatives are people centric enterprises owned, controlled, and run by and for their member to realize their common economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations. Further, FPC is a hybrid of the cooperative and company formats. This makes it a unique entity to deal with the various challenges of farming communities. For better functioning of FPCs, proper coordination among three important pillars, the general body, board of directors, and the executive team are required.